Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Wednesday, 3rd of Jumadul Ula 1446, 6th of November 2024. Our Hazrat Wala is saying that Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb used to quote from this kitab abundantly, the Maktubat of Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom Rahimahullah. This is also my practice. Today it came in my mind that briefly I should quote from this kitab. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib used to say, whatever I achieved, I received from Hazrat Tanvi, I achieved and received. However, from these kitabs, I have benefited tremendously, referring to the Maktubat Masumiya, Maktubat Mujaddidiya. So here, Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom is saying that I have great hopes in my friends that they should not be following their desires and shaitan, due to which they would forget about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I have great hope in my friends that this should not be their state. Ke liqa-e-Rahman ko faramosh na karenge. That because of following their nafs and the shaitan, they then forget of the meeting, the grand meeting between them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this should not be the case of my friends. So to forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is badbakhti. It is a very sad state of affairs and misfortune. Free time should be understood to be a great treasure. Tilawat of Al-Quran. Listen, the nafs orders one to do wrong things, and it mesmerizes a person regarding the dunya, makes him confused, bewitches him, due to which outwardly then he is enticed and everything is made so rosy regarding the dunya, and then he forgets the akhirat. So he's giving preference to the nafs. The nafs makes him give preference to that which is cash, and it instills fear into him about destitution. Now, does an intelligent person forget this? That the dunya has been hastened. It is here in front of us. The commodities of the dunya are temporary, while the benefits of the akhirat are everlasting and will never ever become depleted. So how is it that you give preference to three things over three things? Tiring yourself, letting your heart be occupied, and having a very, very hard hisab kitab. You give preference of these three things over the peace of the nafs, the heart to be completely and totally at rest, and a very light hisab and kitab. So this body or this dunya that you have, you are giving preference over that. So the nafs is, the oppressive nafs is chasing after filling the stomach, and he turns his attention away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The heart is then filled with the desires, temporary desires. due to which your desires and the real desires are then not fulfilled. So this year is a very sad state of affairs regarding a person here in this dunya. Now, this is something very, very astonishing regarding an intelligent person, that here in this dunya he makes and puts together so many of plans, tadbir. However, regarding the akhirat, he hands over all of that to taqdeer. Doesn't he have yaqeen that in this dunya, regarding the matters of the dunya, planning is actually to remove the planning and to hand it over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And regarding the matters of the akhirat, a person should go all out and make full efforts. He should shun and abandon laziness in this regard, meaning regarding the akhirat. Has he not heard that in the dunya, to abandon the needs is actually to fulfill the needs? So, the less fortunate person is the one who is at peace here in the dunya, and he's deceived regarding the akhirat, and he has forgotten about the strangeness of the Qamar and the severity of the day of Qiyamah. He is drowning in falsehood, and he has turned his back towards Al-Quran. He is walking in the direction of base and lowly desires. He is not walking towards the akhirat. أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ إِذَا بُعْثِرَ مَا فِي الْقُبُورِ وَحُصِّلَ مَا فِي الصُّدُورِ. Does insan not know, or does he not know about that time when the graves will be overturned and the secrets of the heart will be made apparent? Has he forgotten about that time? Inna rabbahum bihim yawma idhil lakhabir. Definitely their Rabb is all aware on that day regarding them. He will be all aware on that day regarding them. Wassalamu ala man ittaba al-huda. And in that manner, this particular maktub of Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom to one of his murids, then there comes to an end. So speaking about this death and the akhirat, ek din marna hai, akhir maut hai, kar le jo karna hai, akhir maut hai. One day we would have to die. The eventuality, the unavoidable will be that of death. Do what you have to do. Death is inevitable. This year was not by Hazrat Tanvi. These kitabs, meaning the system and the pattern of it. However, it was actually a foundation in the Khanqa of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb. Himself, he was deeply affected by it. Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom. Thousands of murids. His Khalifas were 7,000. The original is in the Farsi. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb used to read the Farsi. Today, now we have the Urdu in front of us. Okay, then after that, Hazrat Wala goes on to read another malfuz regarding salat. Namaz makhduma. Namaz se lazzat yaab hona bari ni'mat hai. To get great pleasure from namaz is a great ni'mat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hazrat Mujaddid al-Faythani writes in his maktub that ghair muntahi ko namaz mein lazzat muyassar nahi. The person who hasn't reached the end, it will not be easy for him to get great pleasure from salat, and specifically faraiz, because in the initial stages a person perceives and gets lazzat, pleasure from nafal salat. However, nihayatun nihaya mein ये निस्बत फ़राइज़ से मरबूत मुताल्लिक हो जाती है. However, when a person starts to reach the end, then this type of nisbat and this type of lazzat, it is connected to the faraz salat. So we are speaking about the great pleasure that is enjoyed in salat, khushu and khudu in salat. The Khalifa Hazrat Tanvi, he was asked about khushu and khudu in salat. How did he answer this question? He said, listen, if you want to see salat, if you want to know of khushu and khudu, then go and see. Now, of course, he must have said Maulvi. He said, go and see the salat of Maulvi Wasiullah. You know, I can remember our Hazrat Wala is saying that I was a very young child at that time, and Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab came to our house. And I've got this picture in my mind. He was in salat, he was reading salat at our place, he was in sajda, and he was weeping. At that young age, I said to myself, such a great buzruk, and he's crying? That was my understanding of it at that time there. A great alim from Mau, he used to speak of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, saying that I don't understand the capacity of this man. That he would be deeply affected and then he would start weeping, meaning in what sense? That tears would well up in his eyes. That's how deeply affected he was, and immediately there and then he would stop it there, not allowing anyone to witness this type of hal of his. When he would perform his salat, then he would let out a screeching sound, so much that we would actually fear that what will happen. It actually seems that his heart would burst. We would come and meet him in the morning after he would have his majlis that night, that let's meet Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab. And to our surprise, we would find that he was gone. He left and he was gone to the next village. This was that beqarari and uneasiness, rather we would say restlessness that he had. And when it came to hiding his hal, that was absolute. Ikhfa'i hal. You could never understand his hal. Allah Ta'ala bless us also with these type of halat and spiritual states. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab was very meticulous about his wudu. It would take him some many long minutes just to carry out his wudu. Thereafter, he would perform his dhuhr salat with that. And then asr, and then maghrib, and many times even his isha salat. What can I tell you about his tilawat? His tilawat, every day he would carry out by heart, by memory, tilawat of one manzil. And that day would be an extremely happy day for him. He would say, Qamar Uzzaman, today I even read tomorrow's majlis. I have finished tomorrow's manzil. I have read it today as well. He made much effort upon us. He made great efforts upon us. When it would come to the day of Jumu'ah, we would go then to our village. The whole week we would be studying, etc. But then he came to tell us that how is it? All the great ulama from the madaris, they come and visit me. I give majlis on the day of Jumu'ah and you people go home when I give majlis. It was from that day onwards that myself and Bhai Sahab, Qari Mubin Sahab, we never ever went home after that. Hazrat Maulana Mohammad Ahmad Sahab also was very meticulous about his salat. He could not tolerate it when a person would read his salat quickly. What more can I tell you, and how much can I even explain to you the halat and the kayfiyat of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab? He even arranged the housing of 6 individuals here in this area. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make his maghfirat and bless him with darajat aliyah, high stages in the akhirat. Okay, so we're speaking about that of Salat. So Hazrat Mujaddid Al-Fithani, rahimahullah, has written, Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom is quoting, जो लज्जत अदाए नमाज के वक्त हासिल होती है नफ्स को उसमें बिल्कुल दखल नहीं होता. That type of pleasure which is achieved at the time of salat, the nafs has no portion in it whatsoever. Hani'an li arbabin ni'ami na'imuha. Congratulations to the ones who have possessed these type of ni'mats. He had also mentioned that namaz ka rutba dunya mein aisa hai jaisa ke akhirat mein ru'yat bari ta'ala ka. That the rutba and the stage of and status of salat in this dunya, it is like beholding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the akhirat. Allahu Akbar. फरमाया तमाम इबादात वसाइल नमाज है और नमाज मकासिद में से है. That all the other ibadat, they are actually the means of salat, and salat itself is from amongst the objectives. Wassalam. And then that malfuz also then comes to an end. So Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib's path which he showed us in reaching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah ta'ala let us walk that path. And Allah ta'ala, he was one who was muttabi'a sunnat, always so staunchly and closely following the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Allah ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of keeping his talimat in front of us. And Allah Ta'ala allow us to adorn ourselves with these high and great spiritual halat and spiritual states. And Allah Ta'ala also bless us with maqamat aliyah. Rabbana. Okay, then thereafter Hazrat Wala just then quotes regarding the cover of the book. तुमने बाज मादी चीजों का हासिल न होने के बारे में लिखा. You have written regarding not achieving some worldly things, dunyawi things. Allah Ta'ala जो करता है वो बेहतर है. Whatever Allah Ta'ala does in that day is only good. तमाम उमूर को Allah Ta'ala के सुपुर्द कर दो. Hand over all your matters to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. और मादी अशिया के हुसूल में खामा खाम मशक्कत मत जीलो. And in trying to achieve these type of things, don't tire yourself. Allahu Akbar. याद रखो हमारी इज्जत ईमान और मारिफत के साथ वाबस्ता है. Remember, our honor is linked to iman and recognition. मालो जाह के साथ नहीं, not with that of wealth and fame. तकमील ईमान में कोशिश करो और मरातिब मारिफत हासिल करने में पूरी जिद्दोजहद करो. In perfecting your iman, make complete and total efforts. And in reaching the high stages of marifat, make much efforts. जितना भी उस मकसद आला में मशक्क़त झिलोगे उतना ही ज़ेबा व मुस्तहसन है. And the more you make an effort and the more difficulty you have to undergo regarding this high objective, that's how suitable it is and that's how good it will be for you. It has come and been mentioned in the hadith, जो शख्स अपने तमाम गमों को एक गम यानी गम आखिरत बना देगा, अल्लाह ताला उसके तमाम गमों को दूर कर देगा. The person who makes all his griefs and his worry one worry, the worry of the akhirat, Allah Ta'ala will then remove all his other worries. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.